So because of the absolute ridiculousness that happened with our Schalke side last season, where we were in the Bundesliga 2, we managed to win the league, getting ourselves promoted, which is obviously very, very good. But we also won the DFB Pokal, which means we are now in the Europa League and the German Super Cup. They want us to be competitive in the Europa League, but avoid relegation in the Bundesliga. I'm not quite sure we can do both of those. One of the big things that we have been trying to do with this Schalke team, obviously, number one, is getting them promoted back to the Bundesliga, which has happened, and number two is fix our finances. Now, if you watched last episode, or season one, shall we say, you will have realised that I was trying to keep my wage bill down. Season two, I've kind of gone, let's kind of go over the top, because I don't think we're going to be good enough to stay up unless we splash a bit of cash, and that is exactly what we have done. It is the 1st of July. Some transfer business has taken place already. Should we take a look? First of all, something that happened last season, I just kind of completely forgot to mention it, is Hasan Udraogo, who is a German central midfielder. He moved over to Bayern Munich for quite a lot of money, £8.5 million. I think this was like his minimum fee release or something, because I don't remember this happening at all, but apparently he's gone. But that was last season. This season, we've sold one player. It is Tristan Osmani. He has gone to VfB Stuttgart. Basically, his contract ran out, and I kind of forgot to extend it. But it's fine, because we have brought in 4 new players so far, all of them on free transfers. Bear in mind, we're about £150,000 a week over our wage budget right now, so we will need to do a lot of selling, I believe, between now and September. We have brought in Theo Zidane, who's got 2 Algeria caps, obviously the son of Zinedine Zidane. He is coming on a free transfer after his contract at Real Madrid expired. We've signed a young German central defender called Nicholas Kekisien, might be his name, from FC Admira Wacker Modelling. He's coming on a free transfer as a squad player. We didn't actually have too many central defenders, so this man's come in to kind of boost the numbers. One of the bigger name signings, in fact the second biggest name signing, is Oliver. He's a 29-year-old Spanish attacker midfielder signed from Sevilla on a free transfer. He's on 40 grand a week. Okay, and he's not even the highest earner in our club anymore. Oliver's on 40 grand a week. He's a good attacking midfielder. I think this was a sensible bit of business to do. This one I'm not too convinced about, but we've signed Kelechi Iheanacho. 27 years of age, 45 caps for Nigeria, 12 goals as well. £50,000 a week signed on a free transfer. He's very good. Is he £50,000 a week good? I'm not convinced on this one, but we've done it. So that is all the transfer business we have done so far. Just briefly looking at our squad, sorting by position, it's not the biggest, okay? It's not the biggest squad in the world. And then sorting by wage, we've got 3 players who I would say would be our Galacticos in the shape of Iheanacho, Oliver and Baumgartel. And everyone else is kind of not very good. We might need to try and sell some of these players. I believe Karaman might be on his way. We've got some teams after him, and he is 30, so he's getting on a little bit. Maybe Kaminsky, we might need to move on, getting a different centre-back, getting someone younger and maybe cheaper as well. So we're going to be doing a bit of wheeling and dealing throughout the summer transfer window to try and reduce our wage bill, but also not destroy our squad completely. So it's the 2nd of September, and have we fixed our wage budget? No, we haven't. In fact, what we've done is we've moved all of our money from our transfer budget into our wage budget, and we're still over it. We have brought in 1 new player, and we've sold a player as well. It's not been the most eventful summer because the squad was so small. I couldn't really risk just selling players in the hope that I get someone in to replace them. So we're kind of just going to burn through some of this £40 million that we got in the bank for a year. Leaving the club then on loan is Felix Alguiar, might be his name. He's gone to Lublek for the season. But leaving on a permanent deal is Zaid Amusu, might be his name. He is signed over for VfL Wolfsburg. 18-year-old German winger. He's gone for 1.5, potentially going up to £2.7 million. So we've made a bit of money from him. He could have been good in a few years' time, but I think the money right now is probably more useful than having a player who might get good, but also might not in the future. And joining the club, it's a goalkeeper. It's Vincent Muller. So far, we've had 2 seasons. We brought in 2 goalkeepers. Vincent Muller, 24 years of age, decent goalkeeper. He's probably going to be a backup. Not sure whether he'll be our first choice or not. Probably not, thinking about it. Marius Muller, namesake, no relation, I don't believe anyway, and Vincent Muller, they are not even similar, and Marius is arguably a lot better than Vincent, so that's fine, it's fine. We'll keep Marius as our number 1, but Vincent can be our number 2. And Jakob Busk can be our number 3, and probably never play a game for us. So one thing to obviously mention as well about Season 2, the players that we had in on loan last season have all returned, including our top goal scorer from last season, who got 15 league goals, Ernest Poku. He's gone back to AZ Alkmaar. In fact, he sat back in their youth team at the moment, which is weird. I wanted to sign him on a permanent deal, but they just wanted silly money, so we weren't going to go for that, which is why we went for Iheanacho instead, which is arguably also silly money on wages. We are not locking in players in any position this season, but this is our best 11 apparently on paper. So it's Marius Müller in goal. We've got Merkin Kaminski, Matrosini and Mehmet in defence. I believe Mehmet was not here last season. I think he was out on loan maybe at Trabzonspor by the looks of it. He's quite good, okay? I'm happy he's returned. We've got Seguin and Schellenberg in midfield still. Keenan Karaman, Oliver and Mohar are on the wings today. Tobias Mohar, I'm not convinced he's any good, okay? I'm not convinced this is a good player to have in our squad. Obviously, last season we had Cherlanov on loan from Burnley. I wanted to try and extend that. They told me to swivel, so I went, fine, we'll just deal with it. So Mohar is our number one left winger for now, and then Iniacho will be leading the lines. Obviously, we have kicked off the season. How are things gone? We didn't win the German Super Cup. Harry Kane scoring twice, Keenan Karaman scoring once for us, losing 2-1 against Bayern, which is not the end of the world. We are obviously in the Europa League and the DFB Pokal. We'll get to those, I guess, probably in December time. And in the league, we are currently sat 11th place. 1 win against Köln and 2 defeats against Bayern and Leipzig, which, to be fair, you'd kind of, if we said we'd pick up 3 points from the first 3 games, and those were the 3 games, I'd be okay with that. Arguably, you'd want 4. Maybe a draw against one of those 2 top teams, but the fact that we've managed to get 3 points, it's good. It's a long old season. There are a lot of teams here that I think we are better than, like Bochum, Frankfurt, Augsburg, Köln, teams like that. So I'm hopeful that we should be able to stay up. Do they think we should be? Yes, they think we should be good enough to finish in 13th place. I'm kind of okay with that. If they think we can finish in 13th, that's where I hope we can finish. So without further ado then, let's jump forward to the end of the first part of the season, to about Christmas time. See how things have gone on for our Schalke side. Also, we can see how well we've done in Europe. Well, first of all, we are not going to retain the DFB Pokal because we have been knocked out by Bayer in the second round. A 7-5 defeat after extra time. It's a bit ridiculous. Theo he played once. He scored twice and got an assist. Okay, fair enough. So Theo Zidane just was amazing, and that was pretty much all we've managed to do in the DFB Pokal. In the Bundesliga, we are sat 12th place at the moment. Bochum on the bottom with 1 point. They've lost 14 matches. We've got 6 wins. And it's a decent win, I believe, against Bayer. That's a very good win. Everyone else, I'm kind of okay with. That's what you'd sort of expect. I would have hoped we'd beat Heidenheim. I would have hoped we should be good enough to beat Heidenheim. And there's definitely some teams there that we should have beaten. But being 12th place in the table is fine. As long as we're anywhere above 15th. 15th and up, I'm okay with. I don't want to be in the relegation playoff because that's going to just be awful, because you know what's going to happen is we're going to go down here and we're going to play, I don't know, Dusseldorf, and we'll just get absolutely spanked for some reason. So I don't want that to happen. And in the Europa League, we are currently up 5th place in the table. So we are looking like we're going straight through to the first or the second knockout round. I'm not quite sure how it works. 4 wins out of 6 so far. Anderlecht, Rennes, Sarajevo and Hapoel Beersheva we have beaten. We have lost against Spurs and RB Salzburg. Okay, that's kind of not fair, is it? I mean, I know they're the Austrian team, but still, the fact that we are playing them and losing to them, and they've kind of got a sister team in our league, it's not fun. Just in case you're wondering, we have £24 million in the bank at the moment, and you might have spotted that our transfer budget is now £12.7 million, because I spoke to the board and went, hey, we've got money, can I have some please? And they went, sure, here you go. What is most likely going to happen is I'm probably just going to do this and put that to like there. We're still going to have £8 million to spend if we want to spend it. Obviously, we're not going to do January transfer window. We're not going to bring anyone in unless maybe we get somebody from like Sweden whose contract expires in December, but I don't think we're going to do that. But what we will do is jump forward to the end of the season to see how well we've done in our return to the Bundesliga. I'm hoping just not to get relegated. That's all we need. Also, we need to worry about what's going on in the Europa League. I honestly, much like the DFB Pokal last season, I don't care unless we're going to win it. Well, we didn't win it, but we did get through the group stage. We ended up finishing 6th place, 5 wins. Marseille as well joined that list. 1 draw against Sporting, and then the 2 defeats that we already knew about. If we then jump forward to the next round, the round of 16 is where we fall to PAOK, which is PAOK Salonika. Might be their name from Greece. Not really a particularly inspiring result, that one, is it? A 2-1 win in the second leg, but obviously a 2-0 defeat in the first leg means that we do fall at the round of 16. Eventually won by Tottenham. in a 1-0 victory against Atalanta after extra time. But I guess the biggest news and the thing that we really wanted to happen has happened. We have finished 13th place in the Bundesliga, 36 points on the board, a fair distance away from the relegation matches, but not from the relegation playoff, might I add. We were 3 points off of that one. HSV managed to survive against Mainz in the final. But yes, we are still staying in the Bundesliga for Season 3, so it's been a very good year. Maybe not so much for our money, because technically we did go £7 million in debt, but then we got a bunch of money, which has put us back up to £21.5 million. So we are still in the Bundesliga. We are still hopefully going forward. I do want to have a very quick check, sort by wage. I mean, we're just going to look at our 3 highest earners. So Matriosini was given a new contract, which is one of the reasons why our wage bill went up slightly. He's been very good. He's a good player. I've never heard of this man, but he's a very good player. Oliver, one of our new signings, who's already 30. He's already 30. I'm getting the shakes. Do I sell him in the summer? If I get £10 million for him, I might sell him in the summer. Oliver, he's done all right. 33 appearances, 14 goals and 5 assists. That's pretty good. Iniacho, the one that we wanted to get a decent return from. 20 goals in all competitions, but only 11 in the league. 11 goals in the league is not good enough. Who kind of managed to get the goals then? So we've got Lasmi, who's still here, who's not very good. I don't think he's very good, but for some reason he's still here. He's still kind of getting goals, 11 in all competitions. Karaman as well, he's got 10 in all competitions. He is out of contract at the end of the season. I might give him a new one, not quite sure just yet. And then we've got Tobias Moha, who's got 5 in all competitions. He's also out of contract at the end of the season again. I might give him a new deal, more for squad depth than anything else, but in the summer, I'm going to look to do a decent amount of reinvesting, bring in some new players, probably bring in a new centre-back, maybe 2 new centre-backs, maybe even looking in the midfield, defensive midfield roles, maybe even looking to bring in some competition for Iniacho, because Iniacho might, hear me out, Iniacho might end up playing here, and then we can bring in a striker instead. Also, let me just talk you through this man, by the way. I was going to play him. I was going to lock him in for Season 3, and I'm not sure I'm going to do it. So Yves Schmitz, it's a player that come through our youth intake this season. He's from Luxembourg, which, number one, that's a tick in my book, because he's from a slightly obscure footballing nation. He's only 16. His current ability is 2-star, which is not terrible. Potential ability is 5-star, and is worth up to £4 million. All of these things are a tickle in my pickle, okay? I tell you what, I'm tempted to play him as my left winger, and because Moha, I'm not convinced is a very good, he's not a bad left winger, but I'm not convinced he's our best option. Maybe Yves Schmitz could be our left winger for Season 3, 4 and 5. I'm not sure though.